Have you ever tried to apologize to your wife and added something like, "I'm sorry I did that, but you did this too"? Did you notice the problem with that statement? It's subtle, and maybe you don't even realize that you're doing it too. What's important about it is this. Anything you say after the word "but" takes away from what you just said. It minimizes it. It cancels it out. It would be like me saying to you, "You're a great guy, but," or "I love how you handled that, but." The moment you do that, your ownership disappears. And when that happens, your apology doesn't bring you closer. It actually puts your wife right back on guard. It's like reaching out with one hand and pointing a finger with the other. In today's episode, I'm talking about one of the most important skills in any relationship, true ownership. If you want to change your marriage and be a better husband, this is where it starts, with you owning your part, no matter what she's doing. Let's get started. Welcome to Better Husband, the podcast that helps you answer the question, how can I be a better husband? I'm Angelo Santiago, a men's marriage and relationship coach, and every week I bring you practical insights to help you improve your marriage and become the best husband you can be. Let me start with something that just happened the other day. I got home after being away for a few hours. I was genuinely excited to see my wife. I walked in ready to connect, but she was on a work call. I tried to say hi, but she was busy and just kind of smiled and waved, and I didn't really feel like I got the connection I wanted. Then when she got off the call, I was already deep in the kitchen making myself lunch. I was hungry, distracted, and not present. She came over and tried to connect with me, and I did not meet her. And the moment just passed, and we just went our separate ways with things that we had to take care of. Later, I realized we were kind of distant, and I wanted to do something to bring us back together. I had two options. I could say, "Hey, I'm sorry I wasn't present when we were in the kitchen, but when I walked in earlier, you didn't connect with me either." Technically, that's true, but emotionally, that's disconnected. That's not ownership. It's blame disguised as accountability. Instead, I chose to say, "Hey, I'm sorry I didn't connect with you when you came over. I was hungry and distracted, and I see how I missed you in that moment." No but. No expectation for her to own her part. Just me standing in mine. Now here's something I want to call out. In the past, I wouldn't have even noticed that moment. I would have stayed focused on what she didn't do. I would have told myself, well, she ignored me first and felt totally justified in not showing up. But what I've learned is this. Every time I withhold presence or affection as a reaction, I'm not leading in my relationship. I'm just reacting to it. And reacting never brings us closer. In relational life therapy, we talk about it in this way. You take 100% responsibility for your 50% of the relationship. That means you don't wait for her to go first. You don't condition your apology on her behavior. And you don't need to be the bad guy or the good guy. You just need to be the honest, grounded, relational guy. This is what relational integrity looks like. Relational integrity means you keep your side of the street clean, regardless of what your partner does. It's about showing up with grounded responsibility even when it feels one-sided. Terry Real calls this managing your end of the seesaw. You take full ownership of your behavior, words, and tone, not just when things are good, but especially when they're not. You don't wait for her to apologize first. You don't match her energy or mood. You don't use her bad day as an excuse to have one too. If you show up well, then it's a good day for the relationship, period. This kind of ownership takes maturity, it takes emotional clarity, but most importantly, it takes intention and lots of practice. We weren't raised to think this way. Most of us were taught to defend, to argue our case, to make sure we weren't the one to blame. But RLT flips that, because we're not trying to win an argument, we're trying to build a relationship that feels safe and solid for both people. Now let's talk about the trap most of us fall into without even realizing it. We think we're taking ownership, but we sneak in a "but." "I'm sorry I yelled, but you kept interrupting me. I know I overreacted, but you started it." That might feel like ownership, but it's not. The moment you add that "but," you cancel out everything you said before it. You're not owning, you're defending. It might feel honest, it might feel fair, but it pushes your wife further away because instead of taking responsibility, you're shifting it. Here are a few more examples of how but shows up. I'm sorry I forgot to call, but you didn't remind me. Or I'm sorry I snapped, but you were already annoyed. Or I know I shut down last night, but you always come at me sideways. Every one of those cancels the apology. Every one keeps the wall up. Now let me be clear. Taking ownership doesn't mean taking all the blame. It definitely doesn't mean letting yourself be walked all over. It just means this. You see your impact, you own your part, you clean it up. That's what a better husband does. He sees his impact and takes action. That's integrity. That's maturity. And let me make something else clear. You can take ownership and still hold boundaries. You can say, I was wrong for how I spoke to you, and also believe that what upset you was valid. Clean ownership doesn't erase your experience, it just makes space for hers too. And that's what creates trust, not because you gave in, but because you chose connection over control. Here's a quick framework you can try in your own relationship. This is called the ownership check-in. Number 1, what did I do? Be specific, no minimizing, no justifying. Number 2, how might she have felt when I did that? Take a guess. This is empathy. And number 3, what do I want to do differently next time? It's not about getting it right every time, but it is about trying to get better the next time. You can even try writing this down at the end of the day and keep a small journal or just type it in your notes app. What did I do today that helped us connect? What did I do that created disconnection? What can I try differently tomorrow? When you take ownership in this way, she doesn't feel like she has to defend herself. You also show her that you're able to take responsibility and that you care about how your actions affect her. And let me say this, when you take this kind of ownership, it's not just good for the relationship, it's good for you too. You stop second guessing yourself. You stop holding resentment. You stop carrying shame because now you're proud of how you're showing up. And that confidence, that groundedness, that's what your wife feels from you, even more than your words. Real quick, before we get back to the show, if you're like me and you're a busy husband with a lot on your plate, sometimes you hear something on this podcast, an idea or a specific practice or a suggestion, and you have every intention of doing the thing that you just heard. But life gets busy and sometimes you forget. Well, that's why I created the Better Husband Toolkit. This is a short, concise, downloadable cheat sheet with 3 of the most important relational skills I believe every husband should know and have in their tool belt in order to improve their marriage. If you're asking yourself, how can I be a better husband today? Go to betterhusbandtoolkit.com and download the short document. And if you have any questions, you can email me. I'd be happy to offer you some more support. Again, go to betterhusbandtoolkit.com or click the link in the show notes and get your toolkit today. Now back to the show. Another thing we teach in RLT is that every break in connection needs a repair. Ownership is how we start that repair. It's how we close the gap. And someone has to go first, not because they're the one that made the biggest mistake and not because it's their fault, but because they want to, because they care, and because they're putting the relationship first. So I want to ask you these 3 questions for you to think about. Where are you half owning something in your marriage right now? Where are you sneaking in a but and minimizing your part? And what do you think would happen if you just owned your part fully? And if you're not sure what your part is, that's okay. Start small. Just pick one moment, one tone of voice, one sigh, one brush off, and own it. You don't have to solve the whole pattern today. You just have to be willing to move first. Your challenge this week is simple. Take full ownership of one moment this week without needing your wife to do the same. No conditions, no but. Just take responsibility and leave it there. Don't dilute it with any excuses. And if she does the same, that's a bonus, not a requirement. Say something like, hey, I realized I was short with you earlier. That's on me. I want to do better next time. Then stop talking. Maybe she accepts your bid for connection. Maybe she's still upset about it and this doesn't change anything. Maybe this is the start of a new way for both of you, and it'll take some time for trust to be rebuilt. Whatever it is, let it be. And if you need to, practice what you'll say out loud first. Write it down or speak it into a mirror. Get used to what clean ownership feels like coming out of your mouth. Because once you do, it does get easier, and it starts to become a part of who you are and how you behave. Let me say this again. Doing this doesn't mean she's going to receive it well. This doesn't mean she'll immediately respond with softness, but that's okay. Your job is to lead the repair, not to control the outcome. That's what a better husband does. He leads with relational integrity, and he lets that be enough. Let's review what we covered today. When you add a but to your apology, you take away the impact of your words. True ownership means you don't blame, defend, or wait for your wife to go first. You just take responsibility for your part. And relational integrity is about keeping your side of the street clean, even if your partner doesn't. If you showed up well today, then it's a good day for your marriage. And the simple ownership framework is 1, what did I do? 2, how might she have felt? 3, what will I do differently next time? Remember this, a good husband takes responsibility. A better husband takes it fully without blaming, defending, or needing anything in return. So take the lead, be the first to repair, not for points, not to fix her, but because that's who you want to be. And when you do that, everything starts to change. If this episode hit home for you, let me know. Shoot me an email at angelo@angelosantiago.com or leave a comment wherever you're listening to this podcast and tell me what moment you're going to take ownership of this week. And if you want to go deeper into the work it takes to be a better husband, make sure to follow or subscribe to the podcast. Until next time, I'm Angelo Santiago. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Before you go, I have a quick request. If you've ever gotten any value from the show and you want the show to continue to grow, to access bigger and more knowledgeable guests, and to keep providing you with more ways that you can be a better husband in your marriage, simply leave a rating and a review if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. It only takes a few seconds, and those reviews go a long way in attracting more experts and bigger guests to the show. So if you're feeling up to it, as a favor to me, I'd love to see a rating and a review from you. Thank you so much for being a listener and all your support.